kings and queens. Welcome back and welcome to the new year. I am coming on today just to talk about how to be ready this holiday season. So, a lot of people are getting prepared for street vending, holiday shops, pop-ups, in-home stuff, all of that. So, how are you getting ready this holiday season? First of all, do you have all of your items made? Some people never stop making. You keep creating for the entire year. And that's good when you're in the spirit of abundance and you just want to keep making and have stuff put up for your next holiday because you're making all occasion gifts. But if you're in the spirit of lack and you just feel like you just don't have enough, it's going to be anxiety producing, and it's probably not going to make for the best situation for whatever event you have. So just be mindful of those type of things as you're getting ready. But what are you preparing? Have you studied your market? Sometimes if you're just getting started, you really don't know. So you have to look to what other people are saying is the best things that are selling in their community. But one of the things I'll tell you too is go to your local stores and see what they're selling and see how it's selling. Because that'll tell you what your area is interested in. Now, that's something a lot of people probably don't think about. But if you're going to your store, you're seeing mugs that are flying off the shelf and you're selling in that area, then that might be another item with a different variation that you can offer your customers. So think about those things. Are you selling Christmas items or are you selling all occasion items? Now, I say this because coworker gifts and things like that most of the time are gifted prior to Christmas and not on Christmas Day. A lot of people think getting ready for the holiday you have to have all of these Christmas items, but most people don't want a Christmas item on Christmas Day as their gift because it limits how they can use it. Now, if you are a Christmas lover, I used to work with this lady who did a Christmas countdown every year. She absolutely loved Christmas. She would probably use that all year long. But most people won't. You know, if you give somebody a Christmas mug on Christmas, they probably ain't going to use it past January 1st or January 6th, because some people keep their tree up till then. So think about those kind of things as you get ready. But like, what kind of items you're making? Are you doing all occasion? Are you doing holiday? Where you're going to be setting up? What kind of things your community needs? And I know for new people it starts to feel overwhelming, but there are lots of videos and tips out there to help you get ready for different community events. If you're going out in the community versus street selling, you want to look at the community pages on where you're going. Okay, so let's say you're doing the holiday market, right? And they have been doing this for years. Go to their page, look at the type of items that have been sold for those years, look at who in the community is coming to those events, and that will help you understand what type of things to bring. It's not to say that from year to year people are going to want the same things, but you'll know the type of vibe your community wants. If I'm going to a beer festival, I probably don't want to take a whole lot of Christian items. Yes, people who drink beer can be Christian, but they may not want those type of items at their event, and vice versa. If I am going to a Christian event at a church, I probably don't want to take a whole lot of beer mugs and shot glasses, even though them same Christians is drinking beer and taking shots. They might not want that promoted at their event. So pay attention to your location and the places you're going to be so you know what type of items to offer your community and your market. If you're going to an adult event, you don't want to take a whole bunch of kid gifts. If you're going to a kid event, you can take some adult gifts, but many of they need to be appropriate, one, but many of the adults are out there purchasing for their kids. We all know, if you're a parent, if you got nieces, nephews, cousins, little people in your life, if you a godparent, whatever, you know them little people get in your pockets quick. So if you have events catered to little people, especially stuff that's not so expensive, parents will tend to buy and will tend to buy more. So some of the things I'm going to have at my event this year for little people, or for parents to provide for their little people, because little people, I don't want to call them broke, but many of them don't have no jobs. So it's the parents who are purchasing for the little people, or the caregiver, or whoever purchasing for the little people. But the things that catch their eye, like the Santa sacks, I'll have out this year for the parents, because it's a way for them to be able to wow their little people during the holiday. Whether they send it to Santa, I don't know who out there listening with their little people. Some of the parents will send it to Santa to send back with the gifts, and then some parents just find a beautiful sack to personalize or customize or something like that and have under their tree for their little person. So those are some of the things to consider. I know this is just a lot of a lot of chit chat as I'm driving, and I'm thinking about preparing for the holiday season and how to get ready. One of the other things to really truly consider is how you're going to set up your booth, display, table, whatever. I have done really good displays for me at the time, and I have done some displays that I was like, why did I even come here? I should have just stayed home. This is not working. So a part of what I've done this year is rebranded my business, and that was doing my business cards, rebranding my color. My favorite color is purple, and my business used to be purple, essentially purple, black, and white. Now it's essentially blue, white, and black. I changed that mainly because, and it makes it sound silly, but mainly because of my tent. My husband ordered me a tent, and it was blue. And I was a little bit salty for a while because it was blue, and I really wanted purple. But I had to really learn to be grateful for what I had. And so I'm like, I can either try to replace this tent. It's a really good quality tent too, let me say that. I can either try to replace this tent, or I can just like rebrand my colors, which was not that big of a deal. It was really more of an ego thing and letting go than it was actually a logistic thing and changing things over. But once I did that, I realized I wanted to have consistency. So, somebody just flashed me, so I think it's some cops up there as I'm driving, but I'm not speeding, so it is what it is. But in terms of branding and rebranding, I wanted my tent color to look like, I wanted my business color to match my tent and have all the blues and all that. So a lot of things have changed for me. I do have bags and stuff, and I wanted to coordinate everything. So when you're going to set out, you don't have to have a cohesive look, but it really is appealing. And I learned this at a pop-up shop where my stuff, to me, was not that great, and I was next to a vendor who was selling food, but I loved everything about her setup, and it made me reconsider what I wanted to do. So her setup was pink. She had the pink tent. She had the pink tablecloth. She had the pink shirt to match her business and her logo and her brand. Now, she was full-time at this. But these were little nuances that she put into place that really made her pop-up shop pop. She had the portable shelves, which you now see I have. She had all the things. And so I paid attention. So that pop-up shop, it was one of those things. She was next to me, I was next to her. She and I were talking. She needed something spiritually from me that day, and I needed something from her to grow my business, and neither one of us knew that this was going to be the situation. But sometimes that's how things play out, and you just got to take it for what it is. So I learned a lot of business and setup stuff just by paying attention to her, and she was talking to me, and it was a lot of things that she and I we aligned on that day. So it was good. But from that point forward, I went home, I redid my business cards, and one of the things I will do my very, 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 very best to do from point forward is always do a mock-up of my vendor setup. So when I'm getting ready to go out to an event, I don't always take the same things. I said before, when you're going out to different types of events, you might need to take different types of items. So my vendor setup is not always going to look the same, especially now that I'm offering more gift basket type items at certain events. my vendor event will not always look the same because my inventory is not always going to look the same. One of the things I have done over the years, I had a lot of personalized glassware. That's the wine glasses, the shot glasses. And I say personalized because I typically personalize them. But when I'm going out to these vendor events, it's generic sayings on them like Queen, Blessed. It might be a Santa hat or a gingerbread man, something like that, that's on there for different events. So those types of things, I'm not going to take everything to every event, and I'm going to take a different variety of things to different events. But that means my pop-up shop or my vendor display is not going to be the same at each and every event. So I need to do a mock-up. And so in the next week or so, I will be working on my mock-up for my next event. But I also need to work on exactly what I'm taking to this event, because if I don't have the right stuff listed to take to this event, my mock-up is not going to work for me, because I'm going to get to the event, I'm going to have stuff that I wasn't prepared to take, and it's just not going to be what it needs to be. So I need to get all that stuff together, and I encourage you to get all that stuff together when you go to your event, and I encourage you to have your mock-up display done. You can go to Pinterest. If you have no idea what to do, you can go to Pinterest. Pinterest shows you, put vendor event display, and it'll show you like a little picture of how your tables could be for different events. Most of them go with a 10x10 setup. So if you have a 10x10, which is standard for most vendor events, if you have a 10x10 tent or a 10x10 space, it'll show you the different ways you can do your table, that you can have the long table, short tables, circle tables, and how you can move them around to be able to meet your needs for that event. So check that out. There's also a YouTube channel that's like vendor display events or something like that. If I can remember the name, I'll put it in the description so that you'll know to check out the channel. But it's a guy who just essentially reviews different vendor booths, and he tells you what's working and what's not working for each of those events. But consider those things and how to get ready. I'm sure some of these things, they may or may not be things that you've heard before, but especially if you're new, you don't even know where to begin. Like, one of the other things I can tell you, if you're new, if you have a chance to go to whatever vendor market you want to set up, go check it out before you go physically set up. Some things are only once a year, but some things are once a week. So if you have a vendor market in your area that's weekly, go by, see who's selling what you're selling, see who's selling something similar, see what they're offering, see what they're actually selling and not what they're offering, because you can offer a lot of things and not make a sale. But see what's working. You don't want to copy somebody verbatim, but you can be inspired by what people are doing. When it comes to these type of markets, when you are somebody's competitor, you can really make them really angry really quickly by doing exactly what they do. And some of the holiday markets, when it's a really, really good market, or a really good vendor market rather, they're not going to let you copy too much of the same thing anyway, because they want to draw people in. They don't want 15 candle makers out there because it's not a variety for the customers to see. So again, those are some of the things to consider. I think I'm going to do another live later to talk about it a little bit more, because I know some of my thoughts were random today as I was driving, but I wanted to put that out there on how to be ready for your events for this year. I hope this helps somebody. If you have tips on how you've gotten ready, what you've done to prepare, how you did your mock-ups, leave a comment. If you don't have any tips and you just want to leave a comment, or you don't have anything extraordinary that you want to say, drop a crown in the comment section, and I know that you were here, and I appreciate you for listening, and I hope this helped somebody. If this helped you, remember, go help somebody else. Have a great day.